Looking at the grid now as they're getting set to take off here. Sean Richardson on the left-hand side. He'll start the front row of the grid here today. Sarah Price on the right-hand side. We're taking a look at some of the stars of the Boost Mobile Super Trucks here today on the streets of Adelaide. And 12 trucks ready to take combat. Greg Gardner on the right-hand side for Panola here in South Australia. In the Fuchs R&J Batteries entry, Bill Hines is also in the field, but Matt Brabham will start from pole position for this one today with Mingay alongside him. It's a bit of a mixed up looking grid to what we see here, but we'll see some of the faster guys buried down in the pack for this race today. We had qualifying yesterday, a race, and then more qualifying this morning, and it's an inversion of the overall points leading into this second race of the weekend. So you're always going to see a jumbled up grid here, and that's how we like it in Boost Mobile Super Trucks.
So yesterday we had Robbie Gordon. He qualified at the back, started on the front. Today he qualified at the front, now he starts at the back. This is going to be interesting.
This is how we like it. So it's Mingay and Richardson on the front row for this one. A big welcome back to Matty Mingay. It's his first full-time return to the sport since that big crash at Detroit a few years ago. And he's lost none of that charm. He's lost none of that pizzazz, I guess, to go racing. Had some issues with the truck yesterday. They've cured that overnight. Both he and Paul Morris were suffering from brake issues, more so with no front brakes for Paul Morris. He sat towards the back of the field there yesterday, but expect a different looking dude here in race number 2. With moments away from the start, Sean Richardson on the left-hand side of the Road Rage Industries entry, car number 12, as we get underway for race number 2 of the Boost Mobile Super Trucks on the streets of Adelaide. Competition caution will come up during this race. We will settle the field down on the back straight, but for now, Matt Mingay has let rip here. The Castro Edge Hot Wheels entry through Wakefield Street we go for the first time, and already he's got a handy margin.
Absolutely he has. Matty Mingay looks like he's just been shot out of a cannon. He has left everybody else, and Richardson is a bit of a bottleneck here, but that's going to help Mingay. And you mentioned that incident that he had, massive amount of facial injuries, and just the mental aptitude for Mingay to get himself back in one of these trucks and go racing has been huge. And this moment for him to lead the race early on, this is awesome. This will be so good for his confidence, and to see that Hot Wheels truck out front, it's a cool moment.
Yeah, absolutely is. He's left a big gap already, so we jump inside the Speed Energy Menards number 7 of Robbie Gordon on the charge through with Toby Price. They're down towards the back of the field at the moment, and Gordon trying to hustle the 87 entry just ahead, the 2-time Dakar winner. He glances through turn number 8. Did he get the wall? There must have been millimetres in that as the field fan out 3 wide down into turn 9 hairpin. That's Luke Vanner running wide, and Sarah Price plenty pumped up in the VP Racing Field 78.
Just trying to keep an eye on all the action here, Matt, because the moment you were calling, I was looking in the background. I'm going to say Toby Price made very light contact on the exit of turn 8, but when he arrived down at turn 9, he jumped on the brake pedal, and his truck moved over to the left, and now he's gone. He's nowhere near Robbie Gordon, so I don't know where he disappeared to. Look at Vanner having a moment as he landed off the ramp on the approach to the final corner. He's gone round. Now, when I spoke to Paul Morris early on in the weekend, he explained to me that the steering ratio in these trucks is 1 to 1. And what does that mean? It means for every movement you make at the steering wheel, it makes a direct movement at the wheels. So you can be really, really careful on your catch of a slide or the way you land. And Luke Vanner there, he had too much lock on, came down on the front wheels, and his truck just jacked hard left, and around he went.
Good move by Paul Morris at the top of Wakefield Street there, making the move on Sarah Price. So the Hulk 4x4 entry moves up another spot. Morris started from 7th position, back inside with the 7 of Robbie Gordon. Looks like he was slowing through the staircase section. So he's just got past a couple of more drivers on his way up from the back of the field, and Sarah Price looks like she's run 20 laps, not 2, aboard the VP Racing Fields entry.
Fiberglass bonnet on these trucks.
Wait for that to peel away.
And that one, it looks like it's about to peel away. We hold our breaths and see they are light panels. There's a lot of flapping going on from that bonnet. They are very well secured, but I'm curious to know what there we go, that tells the story. So she's just got up onto the tyre barrier on the exit of turn 5 there.
Lucky, and now it's happening again. She gets into Matt Brabham on the way through, so really a big welcome back to Super Truck competition. for the 27-year-old from Canyon Lake, California. It's around the backside of the circuit we go, across the second last ramp on this lap. We do love that one because you've got to change direction while you're in the mid-air. That's hard to do. Saw
an interview earlier in the weekend from Sarah Price. She's done some pretty cool thing on motorbikes, but she said as she gets older, with age, she needs a cage. And at the moment, she's driving that truck with a whole heap of confidence with that cage around her.
17 national motocross championships to her name. She was a bronze medalist at the X Games a few years ago in Supercross as well, but made her intentions clear. She wants to be back behind the wheel of a super truck, but runs down in 7th position. Look at this battle for 3 wide into turn number 4. I had to hold my breath enough that we're going to get away with that one. Mingay still leads. Morris up to 2nd. Gartner into 3rd. Well, this has been happening. Shay Davies. Man, he's been impressive for his first run in a super truck here this weekend.
He certainly has. He's been really, really strong all weekend. Looked like he was going to take the pole a couple of times. He's pushing that truck to the limits up the inside of Gartner at turn 7 on the run down the back straight, up over the ramp. So good, that ramp. I love it. Love it coming out of turn 7. They're all really square. They get a lot of length. Here's the replay here of Vanna landing with just too much opposite lock on, coming down on the front wheels. Front wheels gripped up. A little bit of left hand down on. Boom. Fires the truck out to the left, and around he went.
Good recovery nonetheless. This was Davies. So Price did it on her own. She got the tyre wall with the rear of the VP Racing Fields truck and then turned hard left into the fence there, and she's managed to salvage what's left of the hood or bonnet, if you will, of the VP Racing Fields truck. But she's short in size. With that flapping up, it's going to disturb her vision a bit.
And that's what it felt like might have happened when she made contact with Maddie Brabham there.
Morris.
Replay of the Morris move on Maddie Mingay.
So this was happening while we're showing the other replays, and Davies up on 2 wheels, but gets it back on the deck just in time. So the dude goes to the front from position number 7. He was in the middle of the pack yesterday and now takes the lead of this race. Lap 4 of 7. So Morris, Mingay, Brabham, Gartner and Gordon complete your top 5 halfway through here at Adelaide. So Morris, the big charger. Mingay goes back to 2nd. Davies with Gordon side by side at turn number 4. Gartner just ahead. Greg Gartner looking for a good result here today. He runs in 4th position.
Just ahead of Shay Davies. Now, something happened there as they came down the front straight. Maddie Brabham and Shay Davies looked like they made contact mid-air and continued to make contact as they landed before they went across the start-finish line. That looked like it compromised the run that Davies got and allowed Gartner to go past him.
Now
Davies coming under pressure from Gordon.
We're both on opposite sides. You go for Davies, I'll go for Gordon. There's a commitment point here at 150 metres. In the end, Davies had to yield. Gordon goes ahead as the caution comes out.
And Morris getting hard on the brake pedal there, smoking up the fronts on his Hulk 4x4 entry, slowing that truck down. Now this is a little reset period, not only for the field, but for us as well in here, Matt. I'm just going to calm down a little bit.
Yes, take a deep breath. Of the competition caution. Replay of Morris taking the lead down here at turn number 9. Under brakes, textbook move on this Adelaide street circuit and makes the move on Matt Mingay, who drops back into 2nd position. Here it is from outside, so pulled out just the right time underneath the bridge, just before the braking point at turn 9. And Morris to the lead from 7th position. Lucky for Davies here too, wasn't he? Getting up on the curb and almost started the expression session a few laps early.
And you would have noticed there, Matt, when he got up on that inside curb, the truck had to square up or straighten up. It looked like he turned it out to the left there. That was intentional from the driver's seat. It's to allow the truck to come back down onto that right-hand side, so then he could continue to turn around the corner. Very, very good driving.
Great driving, really, for a guy that hasn't jumped anything professionally since he was 12 on a BMX bike. This is cool. So Morris bringing Mingay and the field around to the restart. Brabham, who started from near back of the field. So Paul Morris leads us down the main straight here. Lap 5 of 7 in the Boost Mobile Super Trucks with Mingay just behind. You've got Brabham. What a shot this is. across the centre chicane. It's like they just disappear past, but they're not going to make the corner.
And they're all three-wheeling as well, so that's even more cool. That left front tyre looks like it's waving to us as it goes past the camera.
Price, that's Sarah Price on Toby Price at the top, so TP up to 7th position now. Oh, contact down there during the staircase, and again, the luckless Greg Gardner going back to his dirt roots there in the gravel. Another Prime's opportunity here has gone begging for the Fuchs R&J Batteries entry.
Shay Davies, unfortunately, hard into the side of Gardner. Helped him to spin around. Matty Brabham, massive amount of air in the background there. It looked like he was trying to make sure he didn't make contact with the back of Mingay's truck. Brabham, so much speed on board. Oh, a little bit of curb at the apex of turn 8. Just trying to narrow up the apex a little bit, and he got a really good run off turn 8. It's enabled him to get the job done on Mingay. Very similar move to what Morris put on a couple of laps earlier.
And Paul Will was doing the same on Sarah Price at the hairpin as well. So good move by Matty Brabham from 10th position to be up towards the pointy end. Big welcome back to Paul Will, to motorsport in general. He's having a great weekend aboard the Redback Radiators entry. PWR Performance Products, number 50. So he leaves Luke Vanner in his wake and heads towards the final turn. Again, it's been a messy lap for Greg Gardner. Usually when the race goes like this, it tends to get worse.
Yep, and unfortunately for Greg Gardner, he's found that gravel trap once again. Now let's look up ahead. This will tell, so that's Shay Davies off to the left. Oh, that's just a mistake from Shay Davies. As soon as he jumped on the brake pedal there, this might tell the story. So here's Davies, has a cheeky little look, jumps on the brake pedal, the rear of the car locks up, and from that moment on, he loses control of the truck and boom, into the side of Gardner. Unfortunately, Gardner was doing absolutely nothing wrong there, but he's been wiped out.
Motor Racing's version of the elbow to the chin from Shay Davies, while Gordon made up 2 positions out of all of that and gets the Speed Energy truck back up into 3rd spot, and Gardner got that curb, and that's lethal for one of these off the track and just scrapes the gravel trap. He's had a lot of experience driving on dirt anyway. Drives his way out of the position, but he's down in 12th position after a race that was looking likely to be his best result ever. Price and Mingay. Price going almost down the escape road. Have to grab half a race here and try and rejoin the field. He's back in 10th position. Meantime, the usual suspects. The cream has risen to the top here in Boost Mobile Super Trucks. Morris, Brabham and Gordon with 1 and a bit laps to go.
What a juicy battle towards the end of this Super Trucks race. 3 guys that are all very well credentialed in this series. Oh, Matty Brabham, bit awkward on the takeoff. Very nice on the landing though.
Gordon dragging the right front tyre. Morris stacking the field up at the final turn here. So 1 lap to go. Gordon was the fastest on the circuit here. We'll split the screens up. We're looking from the front of the Speed Energy number 7 as we start the final lap. You're looking from Paul Morris from the rear of his truck on the left-hand side. 1 lap to go here on the streets of Adelaide.
This will be elbows out from the top 3, that's for sure. They're all super competitive. They'll all want to win this race, no doubt. Who wants it more than the other? They're a hungry, feisty bunch. They've all won a championship. They're all good at what they're doing. And this is going to be an absolutely thrilling finish.
There's 5 championships amongst this group of 3 as there is. 2-time champ Robbie Gordon. You've got Matty Brabham defending champion. He's a 2-time champion as well, and Paul Morris won it back in 2017. Brabham dives to the inside to take the move, and turn 7 is what allowed Gordon to go for the 2 for a price of 1 across the top. Great racing, but it's going to be between Gordon and Morris now.
Morris chops across the front of Gordon and says, I want to win the run down to turn 8. Oh, it looked like he was going to have a look up the inside of Brabham as well. Sliding the rear of the 4x4, Hulk up ahead from Morris. And Brabham, ultra defensive.
Huge
Gordon
move.
hasn't finished here though. Can he get the truck turned?
Right
Yes.
up on the curb. He goes to 2nd. Will he be able to go for Brabham? Great bit of racing from 3 very experienced drivers in Super Truck competition. But Brabham, he won his first Adelaide race here in the final one we had back in 2018. Climbs across the 2nd last ramp. Morris drops back in the 3rd. Gordon, 1 last attack. At the final turn, they both lock up. Brabham covers him off nicely across the curb. We try the switchback on the exit. They'll go side by side. Here we go again at Adelaide. It's side by side across the ramp. Here we go to the finish line. Oh my goodness. It's 300ths of a second. And Matt Brabham is going to win it. Yes. 300ths of a second. They never fail, do they? Two of the best in super truck competition ran it right to the white line in front of our commentary position, and Matt Brabham picks it up by 300ths of a second.
And this guy here, he had the best seat in the house to watch that grandstand finish between Brabham and Gordon. Gordon doing a really good job to get the drive out of the last corner. That was awesome.
And before you ask, no, that wasn't the closest race in history. Replay of the move at turn 7. So coming off Hunt Street into Bartels Road. And Brabham taking no for an answer from Morris, but it was Gordon. All those years of experience, he was in the box seat right here.
And it was at that point I thought we were going to get all three trucks to launch together on the run down the back straight. Here's the finish.
What a shot. Hanging in the air. There's one more ramp to come, which is about 100 metres apart. And in the air across the line. You ever wondered what 300ths of a second was? Here it is right now, the white line. And Brabham gets it done here in race number 2 in the Boost Mobile Super Trucks on the streets of Adelaide. 300ths of a second between Brabham and Gordon. Morris for 3rd position. Paul Wheel, great result in 4th position ahead of Price. Matt Mingay, Luke Banner, Sarah Price in 8th. Sean Richardson 9th, and Shay Davies down in 10th position here today in race number 2. We had Hines and Gartner completing the field behind. Gartner, well, that's one that went missing. He was running inside the top 5 for most of that race. Just taking some breaths in here because the highlights are going to be amazing, to say the least. From the streets of Adelaide as they head back into the pits, they had an afternoon race yesterday and they spent a lot of time into the night making sure that everybody was ready to go for race number 2. And Andy Jones from ground level, it was on from the outset as Matt Mingay, he had all plans to disappear from the group of trucks behind, but no, they changed their mind.
Well, he did. He executed brilliantly, got that whole shot, and he was away. He was just looking, going, I'll see you guys, catch me if you can. Unfortunately, they were able to. We held our breaths there. Toby Price making very light contact with the outside wall at turn 8. And this was the replay of what I was talking about. He's just had a little mistake in the braking zone at turn 9. Cost him a lot of time.
This was the move by Davies on Price, who then got the wall on the exit, then got the left-hand side into the concrete in the VP Racing Fuels entry. A tough race for the Californian. She would finish down in 8th position. I think that truck looks a bit weird. They need to work on that one overnight. Great result to salvage an 8th position out of all of that.
Other than the flapping bonnet.
Yes. Bit messy. Meantime, this was the initial change to the lead at the turn 9 hairpin when Morris took the lead off Mingay. Davies got that 2-wheeling feeling across the curb and then would settle for 3rd position while Morris and Mingay just cut up the centre chicane gravel nicely. This was ambitious from Davies getting into Gartner, who backed the R&J Batteries truck into the gravel down there at turn number 5, but it would get worse later in the lap.
Yeah, unfortunately for Greg Gardner, he was out rearranging some of the rock gardens around the outside of this circuit, not through any fault of his own, particularly down at turn 5.
He loves a bit of farming. Meantime, this was cool. Down the bottom, maximum pressure from all 3. Every time you'd see that orange truck, you'd fear, but Robbie Gordon came up 300ths short. Matt Brabham picks up the win in race number 2 of the Boost Mobile Super Trucks.